3 years, every single day, no days off, no excuses, no breaks. And you know what the market really taught me? It taught me it doesn't care. It doesn't care what time you wake up. It doesn't care how much money you made or lost. It doesn't care how bad you need the money. It doesn't care about the situation. And I had to learn this the hard way, and it cost me more than just money. But here is what 3 years of showing up every single day gives you. It doesn't make you a better analyst, it makes you a different person. And that is the person who actually starts winning. So this is what I learned from showing up every single day for the past 3 years, documented. Showing up every single day for 3 years wasn't accidental consistency. It was something that I had to do in order to not only prove to myself, but also to prove to others. Because I made a decision in the beginning of my journey, I wanted to document it, share online, make a brand. And I wasn't interested in showing the fast cars and the lavish lifestyle, not because I didn't want to, because I simply didn't have it when I first started. And I didn't want to fake it by renting cars and just faking my lifestyle. I actually wanted to have it. Fast forward today, I do have the cars. I use them and I enjoy them. But in the beginning, that wasn't a reality. So how am I supposed to show that I'm actually good at what I do? Let me just show the skill. So that's when I decided to live stream, show my trades publicly, show me taking entries and exits, and show me actually be able to trade the one skill people are online there to learn. They don't really care about my cars and stuff like that because they want it themselves. So I wanted to show the skill. So it wasn't accidental consistency. It was a mindset that I had to be accountable to show up every single day, not only to prove to myself, but to get me closer towards my goals, and as well as at the same time show people that I knew what I was doing. And that was a big risk from my side. I was very scared to do it. I knew that if I failed, I would make a fool out of myself online, which you guys could imagine. Do I trust myself? Do I trust my strategy? Do I trust what I do? And I said yes. I told myself that if I can prove to myself that I can stay consistent and profitable, this will get me closer towards my goals. This will escape me from what I just went through. If you watched my last video, I talked about my journey. I'll link it up here. And I talked about how my journey went. Now, I started streaming in a year after I got profitable, and I wanted to continue that momentum because that momentum was gonna, achieve what I always wanted to achieve. So that's when I started to stream and show up every single day consistently in London session and New York session, London session being fully documented with live streams of all my trades that is in an Excel sheet. So the first year of trading, I learned so many lessons, right? And coming into the second year, which was the first year of showing up every single day because I was accountable to my stream, I wanted to show what it is to be a trader every single day, show up at the same time, same routine. Things were great. I was very confident in my strategy. I was trading a pair that was trending and I was a very good trader in that trend. I knew exactly what to do, when to do it, and the right time. London session was my session and I was basically killing it. I had above an 87% win rate. I would win a lot and I would just be very confident, and that would continue my confidence and basically show people that, hey, in these market conditions, he's a very skilled trader. Markets are pushing, this setup is a great setup. Until today, I use the same setup whenever the market is trending. Till today, it pays me a lot of money. And it was something great in my journey, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was nice to prove that in front of an audience, of course, and keep me consistent, keep me accountable. I was trading so well that I learned that over trading would actually cause problems. So this is where I learned a big lesson that less is more. So I was only trading London session. I did trade NY session, but if I was trading good in London session, I didn't touch NY session. I didn't touch NY session because I wanted to preserve profits and continue the momentum. A big mistake that happens to traders, and what happened to me, and a big lesson I learned, was that if you are trading in London session, let's say, you take a win in London, you give that back in NY plus maybe a little bit more. You're coming into the next day really pissed off that you lost the trade in NY, and now you're trading London with maybe less confidence or aggression to make that money back. Whereas if you just reset that day, you won in London and you had the rest of the day off to enjoy that feeling of winning in the early session. And it even works with a loss, because you take one loss, you get over it during the day, right? You're not so heated up the next day. So in my example, then I run with that win for the day. The next day I'm coming really positive, right mindset on the charts. And that is a massive tip that traders don't talk about, is what mindset to have at the charts. That was a massive lesson I learned there, carried me throughout my first year. It was something very powerful there. Another big lesson I really learned moving forward, which also coincided with what I just spoke about, is that the market doesn't reward time and effort. it actually burns you. So this is a really concept that doesn't work anywhere else. In any other time, the more time and effort you spend into something, the better you get. Now, somewhat true, but it was a very hard lesson to learn. Once you're out of that full beginner stage, it actually starts to give you negative returns the more effort and time you put into this, because now you're putting effort into time into the actual trading side because you've learned a strategy, you learned what you're doing, and that time and effort has mental exhaustion because emotions are involved when you're taking trades. And when that happens, the more effort and time you put in, the more mentally tired you get, the more mistakes you make, the more you start to get burnt, and you just end up in a losing cycle. So actually, once you learn the basics, you have a strategy, you've learned what you need to learn, that is where adding more effort, the market will punish you. Adding more time, the market will punish you. You need to be adding discipline and trying to take yourself out of the market once you've done your job. So that was a massive lesson I learned as we went on. Big one is showing up every single day. I could not hide behind a screen if I made a mistake. My bad habits showed up, and daily your most common mistakes are going to show up again and again. And I did that in front of an audience. And if I change them real quick, because if I continue to make these bad habits, I would just lose. I would make myself look a fool. And it also protected me because my account would suffer with that. So that's why having a community behind you, being part of people who can hold you accountable, is going to create that same environment. I did it myself by being in front of an audience. That's what teaches, that's what the market teaches you from showing up every day, is what bad habits you have and how to fix it. It wasn't all easy while streaming. As time went on, market conditions started to change. And dead markets taught me more than active markets, because in dead markets, it became from, instead of growing capital, I had to protect capital. And this was something new. Because as markets started to change, yeah, you could have a really good quarter 1 and 2, but quarter 3 may be slow. And that's normal as a trader, although online doesn't perceive that. As a real trader, that is going to be normal to have a slower quarter. But you have to show and also make people understand that they're all hyped, just looking for a signal. And it's really tough for me to be able to explain that to people. But that taught me that, hey, you have to have periods of capital preservation. It's not only about capital growth, because if you can grow capital but you can't keep it, what's the point of making it in the first place? So it was a massive lesson I learned, how to trade in those market conditions as well. The next biggest lesson I learned was that my emotions follow patterns. After so much screen time, certain things, certain events on the charts, those patterns cause certain emotional triggers. Certain market conditions causing me to be more hesitant, certain market conditions causing me to be more aggressive and overtrade, certain type of days, those patterns, laid out. Now, I could make a whole separate video on what exactly those patterns are. You can let me know in the comment about that. But these patterns essentially will start to show up, and you can start to note them down and say, okay, if this causes me to do this, I need to avoid that situation, right? Because if it's giving you a negative outcome, you avoid that, but that needs time and repetition. And that's what that really taught me. It was a very valuable lesson, building me into who I am today. During that time, I was not only financially compounding, but skill compounding. Now, this was a very, very valuable lesson, because it's easy to have a skill, but to maintain a skill is much harder. And what felt like impossible in a year, it just became instinct in 3 years, and was something that was just part of my routine. And results that seemed unachievable started to become achievable, and the consistency that I wanted started to just unfold itself as time went, based on the other factors that I talked about. So the skill compounding was just as valuable as the financial compounding. And skill compounding, no matter what stage you're at, you might not even have financial compounding, but your skill compounding will equal to financial growth, which is obviously what everyone wants. So that was a very, very valuable skill that I learned. If we fast forward to now, the markets have drastically changed. Not in essence of they don't trade the same way, they move in different cycles. I've traded through a pandemic, I've traded through different presidents, I've traded through trade wars, all of these different events which added a different dynamic. I've traded through markets that kept on pushing during my session. I've traded through markets that do nothing in my session. I've traded through good markets, slow markets. And what has this taught me is that trading needs to be adaptive. As a trader, if you have a condition, like when I'm, for example, live streaming, I'm only live streaming an hour of main streaming, right? After the analysis and stuff like that. That is only 4 15-minute candles. So the timing that you have to have a move happen, although there's times in the period where every day, same time you'll get a move, sometimes that shifts, and you need to be able to adapt as a trader. Now, this was tough as an online perspective to keep a brand going, because people want to see trades. They might think a system is faulted. They might think, I don't know what I'm doing. And in reality, I will be honest with you, I sometimes second guess and think, oh, maybe I am doing something wrong. But what I did was always stay true to my data and true to what I know and adapt the circumstances, meaning maybe this is a market that favors fading the market. This is a market that favors pullbacks, not a breakout market. Maybe the timing needs to be changed. And this brings me even till today. London session's been slow. I've been changing most of my aggressive trading and putting emphasis on NY session, which I am seeing over an 85% win rate and a much different session compared to London. I haven't taken out London because I'm not negative in London. So it's bringing me gains, but it's way slower than the gains in NY. So if I really wanted to and have more free time into the day, I could quit London, but that's not the case. All it needs is a bit of timing change, a bit of where you want to enter in the market using the same rules, same core fundamentals, and you start to make more profit. So having a community, someone to make you realize that it's not your strategy, it's just you needing to be proactive, not reactive, and start to really keep an eye on the market. To be honest, if I didn't have that, it would probably become too boring and you'd probably start to make silly mistakes. So I'm grateful for that. So I want to end this video by talking to you guys, and maybe you're behind the screen and your first year, second year in trading, and you're wondering, is this daily grind really worth it? And I'm gonna tell you straight, it is only worth it if you don't let trading consume you, and also you hold yourself accountable to the grind, meaning that you are constantly feeling that you're accountable towards someone by either having a community around you, or maybe if you even are inspired, you are maybe wanting to stream and show your trading results, or maybe you're not at that stage and you want to learn. It is worth it. I am someone who sat, and only a few percentage of the people on the internet who have over 1,000 live streams, and I stream till today. You can come and show up and see what a real trader does every single day live in London session. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll be welcome to show up to the streams, and it has been worth it for me. It has transformed my trading. I am who I am today. I am the same trader because of those conditions, because of that grind. People ask about my journey. Most of my journey has been documented live. That is where my biggest growth has happened. That has built me to who I am. That has built me into having the discipline I have because I had accountability, and that is what made the difference for me. So if you're in your first or second year in trading, it is worth it for the daily grind. It is where your success is going to be made. Just don't let it consume you. Listen to the points I said in the beginning of the video. So as I said, I live stream daily, London session for free on YouTube, NY session in my group. Come watch me, see what it's like to see someone who's been trading every single day for 3 years, what real consistency looks like. If you enjoyed this video, all I ask is to leave a like on the video, share this video with someone who you think it would help, because this is real lessons that I learned, not from my opinion, but from real experiences. So let me know if you enjoyed the video in the comments. Hopefully catch you guys soon. Strategy on my entries are on my channel if you're interested. With that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very, very soon.